Welcome to Thieves Cant, a tabletop gaming podcast, with your hosts, Jeremy Shane and Chris White.
Welcome in and welcome back. Saturday, June 21st. It's Thieves Cant. I'm Jeremy Shane.
And I'm Chris White.
Back again for another round. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you are staying cool. If you are anywhere near Chris and me, you are not staying cool.
Yeah, we're cool, but it's not cool outside.
We are experiencing the real first heat wave of the summer, I feel like. A triple-digit heat index. Well, let me just say this. At least it's a moist heat.
It is a moist heat. Of course, Jeremy and I are both in the studio with our shirts removed, glistening. We're eating popsicles. We're having a good time.
Did you do some gaming this week at all?
You know what? It's been all work and no play for me this week.
Aside from our session last Saturday after we recorded.
That's right. Yeah, we did have a session.
I can safely report that my character is still alive.
Yeah.
He does have more than one hit point now.
There were a lot of disappointments, and that was amongst them. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
Hey, thank you for listening. Thanks for following on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening, over on YouTube at Thieves Cant Podcast. You can find us on social at Thieves Cant Cast. You can email thievescantcast@gmail.com. Hey, coming up in today's episode, while the rest of the world celebrates Free RPG Day, here on Thieves Cant, it's practically Free RPG Day. In our crowdfunding spotlight, we dream of a gaming vacation, Chris.
Really?
We'll get to that. We've also got some headlines to get to, but first it is the Thieves Cant question of the week. What game that you've never tried is at the top of your to-play list? We've all got a lot of games in the queue. What's at the top of your list?
Well, right now, it's, I think, probably Little Castles and Crusades.
Yeah?
I got the handbook, but I've only just taken a brief look at it. I think it looks like fun. It might be a good one-shot just to give it a try.
Now, is Castles and Crusades, I know it's one of the OSR style games, right? Mm-hmm. Is it more reminiscent of like AD&D first edition or second edition? Where does it kind of
you know what?
in?
I would say it's very D20 in nature. So it looked to me more like if 5e perhaps had been designed in the 70s, I don't think these characters could go toe-to-toe with a 5e character.
Okay.
Right? But
so they're not that robust.
Well, yeah, it's like the abilities, a lot of them feel the same, look the same, but it's like whereas you might be doing this every other round, now it's like you're going to do this once a day.
So it makes that ability, that power that you've got really special.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a little less superhero, I guess. You know, you kind of get that superhero vibe from a lot of modern fantasy because there's so many abilities stacked on each other. This is more like you're normal with a really cool thing you can do every once in a while. So,
right.
Yeah, it looks fun. I mean, I'd like to dig. I haven't dug into the magic system at all or anything like that. So it's just been a cursory glance at the classes. And
all right.
It looks interesting.
Castles and Crusades at the top of Chris's list. Top of my list, Coriolis from Free League. This is their sci-fi kind of think Firefly, but with some Middle Eastern elements baked into it. Could be fun. You've got a dark threat beyond the stars to deal with. Uses the Year Zero engine from Free League. This one's at the top of my list at the moment.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
All right. With that out of the way, let's head over to the headlines. Okay, the news of the week. Chris Perkins, Jeremy Crawford, recent WotC retirees, have joined Darrington Press. Perkins as the creative director, Crawford as the game director. That matches their roles at Wizards. So they are now on board with the folks at Darrington Press to, I guess, direct the future of the newly released Daggerheart.
These were really short retirements.
They got bored fast. It happens.
Not everybody can make that, can adapt. So,
No.
But yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, Perkins and Crawford were at the forefront of the D&D engine for a decade or more. So
yeah, L.A. Times first broke the news. Perkins and Crawford were approached by Darrington Press and Critical Role shortly after their retirement news broke. Perkins says that he was committed to staying with Wizards until after the 50th anniversary of D&D. Which, according to him, gave him lots of time to work on succession planning and exit strategies. He goes on to say, what brought me out of retirement was the chance to work with Jeremy and the brilliant folks at Critical Role on things that have a lasting positive impact on the world. Crawford is quoted as saying, Chris and I talked about his retirement plan for years, so his approaching departure was long on my mind. When we sent the new D&D rulebooks to the printer last year, I felt it was time to explore a new chapter for myself. I love the game and its team, but 18 years is a long time. I was ready for a new adventure. Now, the chapter that we've now opened feels like coming home, resuming work with Chris, and returning to Southern California. Well, the weather's great.
Well, it's a sign of change for sure. And, and of course, we also got the news that Jess Lanzillo,
Oh, yeah, the VP of D&D.
is moving on. Also, Todd Kenrick said that he was laid off. Of course, he was sort of the face of D&D. And if you watched any of their videos on YouTube or other media.
He was all over D&D Beyond, right?
D&D Beyond, yeah, quite a bit. So I think for a lot of people, those who they were familiar with at Wizards of the Coast are gone or going quickly.
Company is looking much different than it did even a couple months ago.
It is. But in a way, it's kind of nice. I know we've talked about before a lot of emphasis that's put on these kind of famous individuals making the games. And, you know, it doesn't have to be. It's the product that we're interested in, not the people. So.
Yeah, it's this circle that I find myself trapped in, because when this news broke earlier in the week, I mean, obviously I knew we were going to be talking about this come Saturday morning. And then I kind of, I go back and forth. I'm like, but why? Why do we put so much emphasis on these individuals when it's the game that we're all here for? Right. Not to dismiss, the work that individuals do. It's okay. I get it. It's news and we're reporting news, but it's just, we've talked about how many, and maybe there are people who were, but, back in the day, how many game developers besides Gary Gygax, whose name was on everything, could you name? I couldn't. Right. We knew the authors. We knew Ed Greenwood and Margaret Weiss and folks Tracy who were writing
Hickman.
the novels.
Yeah, we knew them, but I didn't know who the lead designer was for Hobgoblin.
Right. It's not that world anymore.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
All right, so the corporate churn continues. Moving on, Dark Horse has revealed its first official D&D comic series, The Fallbacks. There have been D&D comic series in the past, but this is the first one from Dark Horse. The Fallbacks, by the way, they are featured in, I think, a couple of novels of recent release. I think the characters are also featured in a lot of the artwork in the 2024 rulebooks. And now they get their own 4-issue series, which begins releasing in October. According to Game Rant, the story takes place in the city of Loudwater, where a party of daring glory seekers attempt to pull off a heist for the ages. They'll be facing off against kobold thieves and annoying heroes while on their quest for gold. I don't understand that reference. Annoying heroes.
They're going to be annoying. Like, is that a verb? Annoying heroes?
That'd be an adjective.
That's an adjective? Okay. Like they're annoying, or is it the
act? They have to face off against kobold thieves and annoying heroes.
Well, yeah, I guess that's how I'm reading it, though. Like, are they annoying the heroes, or are they?
Oh. Now I see.
Yeah.
That's where the verb question
You're right.
comes in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they could very well be doing the annoying.
Yeah, they're facing off against kobolds, annoying heroes, and on a quest for gold.
Yeah. I like a good D&D comic run. There was a IDW series. It's the only D&D comic series I've read, but it was with Fells 5. This came out 2010, 2011, 2012, somewhere in that era. It was the 4th edition era.
Mm-hmm.
And what was cool about these comics is like they would include stat blocks for the characters. A couple of them even had little encounters in the back, like maybe a 2 or 3 page little dungeon crawl you could go through. They were pretty neat. And the story, which is the most important thing, the story was great.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever read a D&D comic that I can recall.
Yeah.
Maybe I've been missing out.
Maybe you need to get on this starting in October.
Oh, time to start.
All right, moving on. A short list of headlines this week. Let's jump over to crowdfunding. All right, are you ready for a gaming vacation? You could take one to the Tabletop Inn. The Tabletop Inn is a board game-themed bed and breakfast located in Marion, North Carolina. It's just outside of Asheville, which is a beautiful spot in the country, really close to the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah. The owners opened the inn back in September, and now they're trying to raise funds to add merchandise, signage, professional photos for the business. The inn offers a library of over 600 games. It's got a couple of 2-bedroom suites, and the hosts are ready to teach you games and cook you breakfast. You can get in on this with 14 days to go. There's a pledge level that's a $550 pledge that gets you a one-night stay for up to 8 guests.
Oh.
So if you break down the math, it's not that much per person. Yeah. You get both suites. And you get a meal, you get to play games. If you don't know how to play the games, the hosts are there to teach you the games. They are kind of your game masters, I suppose.
This could be fun.
Could be fun if you're in the North Carolina area, you're taking a trip that way, and you just want to do some gaming. I assume that you could pledge for more than one night, and you could have an extended stay.
I mean, I'd want to see the place.
Yeah, right.
You know,
they do have pictures on the Kickstarter page. You can judge for yourself. It's a really cool setup. Very colorful. The suites are all gamed out.
It's kind of a slick name too. You know,
Tabletop
like
Inn.
if you name it like the Purple Worm, right? People are going to be like, "Where are you going on vacation?" Well, I'm taking the family up to the Purple Worm.
Right.
You know, they'll be like, "What?" But the Tabletop Inn, that sounds delightful.
Yeah. It sounds inviting.
I like it.
As an inn should, right?
Yeah.
I remember years ago, there was somebody running something similar to this that we found. I don't remember where this place was located, but it was for, I think, like a full week of gaming. And the guy promised that he was going to run you through it was 4th edition D&D, so he was going to run you through a level 1 through 30 campaign in your week stay.
I remember that. I want to say it was in Hawaii for some reason, but maybe not. I don't remember. But yeah, I do remember that.
I'll tell you this. I love to game, but if I ever go to Hawaii, I'm not going to spend my time leveling from 1 to 30 around a table.
You're going to do it.
I'm going to be in Hawaii.
No, we're going to do it. We're going to find this guy. Don't look out the window.
Right. All right, so that is the Tabletop Inn, a board game bed and breakfast. Again, 14 days left to fund over on Kickstarter. Sounds cool. With that, you ready to head to our main topic? Around the world, gamers are celebrating Free RPG Day, stopping into their local favorite, or is it favorite local game store? I think that's what it is, FLGS. The F comes first.
I had no idea that F stood for favorite. Just so you know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. I interpreted it really differently.
Well, Thieves Cant, we are here to give you a practically free RPG day. We've got a list of items, all super affordable. None of it requires a computer, internet access, no tech needed here. Okay? And I would bet nearly all of this can be improvised from stuff that you already have around the house.
Impossible.
Let's turn your trash into treasure. Let's dig through the recycling bin. I'm going to hit you with some odds and ends. These are in no particular order, but I will say that this first one I do hold in high esteem.
Okay.
I don't think that any DM's resource kit is complete without some index cards.
Oh, yeah.
They are the Swiss Army knife of gaming, right? You can put down NPC stats on them. You can track initiative order. Maybe somebody in the party just got some loot and you need to write down what this magic item does. And an index card is something easy to hold on to. It's a little sturdier.
I use them. I have my laptop. I have all my electronic devices spread all around me, and I'm writing on the index cards the whole time. So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Number 2, toilet paper tubes.
That's right. I see what you did.
Or paper towel tubes, if you want the longer version. But these are great if you're doing if you're doing terrain on the tabletop.
Yeah.
You need a tower. You need a pillar.
Giant trees.
Trees.
Yeah.
Anything that might block line of sight.
Yeah.
Provide cover.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
Be a weirdo.
Yeah.
Hold on to every toilet paper tube that you can.
Also, if you need to talk in your booming villainous voice, just put this thing right up to your mouth and let it go, man.
Yeah. Do you remember the old Snake Mountain?
Oh yeah,
Masters of the Universe
Yeah.
setup? That had one of those microphones that you could talk into like that echo.
Yeah.
You had to pull that back out.
That was the next evolution of the toilet paper tube.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't pull that one back out. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
For getting rid of all my cool stuff.
Yeah, same.
Number 3 on the list, coins or washers or bottle caps. Any sort of just kind of disc-shaped object that might work great for tracking conditions, like condition tokens or monster markers, right?
Yeah.
Different colors can equal different effects. I didn't put bottle cap rings on here, but they should go in this category as well.
The safety rings.
We used to use those for everything.
Yeah. And they come in all different colors, and those are really good. I actually bought a set of rings that have, conditions written on them and everything.
Yeah.
But there was no need. I mean, really, if you have enough of those safety rings, then they're great.
I mean, some people, the aesthetics mean a great deal. And so a safety ring or a bottle cap is just not going to do it for them. But if aesthetics don't mean anything to you, why spend the money?
That's right. Those are perfect.
Number 4, paper clips and binder clips. As an aside, the binder clip is probably the greatest office supply.
It's probably humankind's greatest achievements. It's top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use these things to hold like player cards, status sheets. You can create little stand-up tent cards for monsters and NPCs and just slot those right into these. Great utility at the table.
And there's some utility to the straightened out paper clip. Stick it in a styrofoam ball and levitate. Right.
Yeah. Moving on, old playing cards. Just a deck of standard playing cards. Some games require a use of playing cards. Savage Worlds, looking at you. But these have utility across the spectrum. You can turn these into initiative decks. Maybe you're tired of rolling for initiative. Everybody just draw a card. You could make your own random encounter table based on a draw of a card.
Oh, yeah.
I think about this forest that we've been building out in our adventure design. We know enough about the inhabitants of this forest that we could create our own random table of encounters.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to do. Yeah.
Sure, you could set it up for a roll of the die, but sometimes you just want a different tactile experience. Yeah. Set it up to be used with the cards.
You can also pretend you're Gambit from the X-Men.
NPC generation prompts. Maybe you've got an NPC table that you've created, characteristics of an NPC, and you just want to make a quick draw just to determine something about this new character that the party's interacting with.
That's true. What else you got?
Number 6, beads or marbles or poker chips. You could track hit points with these. High-level D&D play, I'm probably not tracking hit points, but games that maybe you have a lower health total. Spell slots, ammunition.
Ooh.
If you want to track your ammo.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Really, I mean, I think what we're saying here is resources in general.
Yeah.
If you've got a total that you're trying to track.
Any kind of counter.
Sure.
Yeah.
This slots in great.
Yeah, absolutely. I like using these things for like inspiration.
Yeah.
I know that was a system. For anything like that, just to keep, hey, I have this poker chip. I'm going to cash it in.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my inspiration now. That's a pretty good idea.
Oftentimes, if it's just a note on your sheet, you might not think about it.
Right.
But if you've got this colorful bead in front of you or poker chip, yeah, sure. It's on your mind. It's a resource that you know that you can spend to gain an effect.
Yeah. I've seen people use these to take off spells as they cast spells and, just to keep track of that. So, yeah, that's great.
Number 7, how about Lego bricks or Jenga blocks? Anything that you could use to maybe build a wall, like modular walls or some sort of elevation marker. Sometimes you need to indicate that, there's high ground here. Well, Lego blocks let you do that easily, right? Or even little mini figs if you need a mini stand-in. And again, we're going back to aesthetics here.
No, I think it's a great idea. I mean, especially if you don't have anything else to build with, boom. I mean, you can pretty quickly build a little fortification or whatever it is.
Sure.
It's something it's a visual representation of what's there. Something just to make it easier, a visual aid. So, and I mean, you could go nuts with it.
If you've got the time and you want to sink that into it, but even if you don't have a lot of time, you can build something up with Legos quickly.
They also make great caltrops.
If you do not have children, and someday you do, and you buy them Legos, you will discover this for yourself.
Yes.
Number 8, sticky notes. Now, I know we had index cards on here at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like sticky notes. Do we really need a separate category for them? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. They are different than your standard index card. Sticky notes, not as durable as the index card. So these are kind of like for the moment, not for a permanent reference.
Mm-hmm.
Quick status markers, secret player notes, even map tiles. Maybe that, what's a spell that you can move around?
Like a spiritual weapon.
Yeah, maybe that spiritual weapon that was cast. And that sticky note can easily be placed onto the battle map, moved where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And it stays in place.
That's true. These are kind of nice when you're painting minis, too.
How so?
Well, if you had a particular section that you wanted to shield from the paint you were laying down, just put a sticky note over it.
Ah.
Or wrap it around like an arm.
Yeah.
Say there's a glove you don't want to get this paint on, wrap it around just the glove and then paint the rest. So it makes it easy and it's not going to move. You don't have to worry about it moving on you. So.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
All right. Number 9 on our list, the dry erase board.
Oh, yeah.
Just your standard, simple dry erase board. I know that we can get crazy with our battle maps. You can get your big Chessex roll-up mat, and those are super nice, right? You can get your Paizo flip mat. I've had one for years. I love it. But if all you have around the house is a small whiteboard, you're good to go.
I think you made the one I use, right? Didn't you?
I put a grid on it.
You put grid on the dry erase board, which is perfect. I mean, it's so easy. You have all the convenience of a dry erase board, but you still have that easy way to track movement and spell effects and stuff like that. So yeah, dry erase board. Yeah, this is kind of our go-to.
Okay, are there uses for a dry erase board outside of a battle map?
I mean, easy notes, right? Especially if you need to communicate something to the party, for example.
As opposed to a solitary player.
Right. Yeah, like maybe there's a puzzle that involves an image or something like that. It's an easy way to just sketch it on there really fast, show it to the party, and let them get to work.
And just about everybody's got a whiteboard of some kind in their house.
Yeah.
And even if you're thinking, well, I've got a whiteboard, but it's just one of those really small ones. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
You don't need a big one. Again, it doesn't have to double as a battle map. It can just be a good visual reference, and then you're not going through reams of paper.
We've used this a lot, even when we're doing theater of mind combat. It's great to just have, you're this X, and you're this X, and this O is the baddies,
Right.
Just to have that easy way, even though you're visualizing the combat in your mind, things can get confusing. And so, again, a dry erase board's an easy way to clear that stuff up.
Yeah,
so.
Because everybody at the table is probably, at the end of the day, visualizing things slightly differently, regardless of how much visual representation you're putting down.
Yeah.
But if you can get them all somewhere close to the same idea, that's to your benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last one on the list, open up any old board games you've got. Dig in the junk drawer, see if you've got an old sand hourglass, a little timer. I think these have a lot of utility in play at the table. Perfect for Maybe there's a time-sensitive skill challenge that you're running. Maybe you've got that player that is just taking way too long on their turn. You could introduce, for a game session, hey, I'm going to try to keep everybody's turns moving efficiently, so I'm going to use this hourglass timer.
Yep.
Is that too aggressive? Is that an aggressive move as a DM? Does that send the wrong message?
No, I don't. I mean, I think if you apply it across the board, and you just say, hey, combat's taking a little while. I thought maybe we'd try and speed things up. Maybe some people could get an idea of what they want to do beforehand, before it's their turn. So, yeah, I just, speed things up a little, and it kind of adds a little more sense of urgency, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm for this.
Very good.
Great. I think you need to do more of this. I think I'm going to have you come over and just see what you can do.
I feel like a raccoon just digging through the trash. And
sometimes if I don't have any minis available, I'll just bust out some Doritos. Just lay them on the table strategically.
That's you.
You're a Cool Ranch.
Right.
You're a spicy nacho.
Well, again, with this weather, I certainly feel more spicy nacho than Cool Ranch.
Yeah. Put your shirt back on, man.
Yeah. It's time to shirt up because the show is coming to a close. Chris, can't believe it's over so soon.
It ends so quickly.
We got through that list quickly.
Yeah.
If you've got a list of your own, what did we miss? Email again, thievescantcast@gmail.com. Find us at thievescantcast on social, on YouTube, at thievescant podcast. Chris, until next time, it's time to step outside and face that angry red sun.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's trying to kill us.
All right, well, stay safe. Hey, thanks again. Thanks for listening. It's been Thieves Cant. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Chris.
We will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Thieves Cant. Email thievescantcast@gmail.com.